They say God doesn't hear prayers from the block. I heard that so many times I almost believed it. Almost. Prayed on my knees in a trap house at 17 years old. Asked for something better than the story I've been told was written for me. Woke up the next morning, same block, same code, same everything, and thought maybe God doesn't answer these. But 10 years later, standing in the life I built from all of these decisions and these nights, and every door I forced to open, I could see the prayer was answered, just not how I've been hoping it would look. God doesn't rescue, God give tools and leaves the room and says, figure it out, the answer somewhere in the gloom. You standing in, and I deal with hollow tips and hollow nights, and every bit of warfare and the mathematics in the fight. She asked me once if I believe in something bigger than myself. I said, baby, look around, who you think moved everything else into position for this moment? She smiled, said, I was waiting for that answer. Said, you're not godless, just translating the divine into a language that the block could understand. Maybe that's my only creed, and maybe that's the plan. Godless,
That's what they say.
they say, but something kept me breathing through every dangerous day. She the blessing that arrived when I stopped trying to pray. 808 heavy, like the weight of what I weigh. Godless,
They don't understand.
they don't. Every scar I carry was part of a larger plan. Something bigger than the city had a different demand. Godless, nah, just godly in a different land. Watch the good man die and a terrible man walk free on the same night, and that's the universe to explain the math and make it right. Never got an answer that could satisfy the why of it, so I built my own theology to justify the survival of it. The fact that I'm sustaining when so many others aren't. The fact that hollow tips provided me and missed the heart of me 380 times approximately. And I'm here counting money and loving her and trying to be clear about what I believe, which is approximately this. Something is watching, something is keeping score. Shit that human courts and human systems never will address, and whether it's God or karma or my mama's prayers at rest in the universe, something hurt him, and I'm proof. Godless is the wrong word, I'm just searching for the truth that doesn't come with a building or a collection plate as such. My only creed is her and this, and I'm holding on to that.
That's what they say.
They say, but something kept me breathing through every dangerous day. She the blessing that arrived when I stopped trying to pray. 808 heavy, like the weight of what I weigh. Godless,
They don't understand.
they don't. Every scar I carry was part of a larger plan. Something bigger than the city had a different demand. Godless now, just godly in a different lane. Quiet now. I don't know what's on the other side. Nobody does. But I know this city tried to put me there early, and some disagree.
3 times,
Some disagree.
3 times,
3 times.
3 times,
Call it what you want.
3 times.
I call it mine. I call it the only creed I have. It doesn't require explanation. Still here. Let's go. Final word on the God thing. I don't claim to have it figured, but I move with something guiding every step and every trigger pull. I've avoided every morning. I've been giving dead serious. Something cares about this living. She smiles when I say it, and she said, baby, that's a prayer. You just don't call it that. And maybe she's right there. I looked up once, poured a drink, said something quiet and private that I won't repeat, and bar some things you keep inside the creed, that actual creed. The one beneath the music. Godless is the wrong word, I'm just building how I choose.
That's what they say. They say.
Something kept me breathing through every dangerous day.
She's a blessing that arrived when I stopped trying to pray.
808 heavy, like the weight of what I weigh. Godless,
Don't understand.
they don't. Every scar I carry was part of a larger plan. Something bigger than the city had a different demand. Godless, nah, just godly in a different land.
Godless.
They say They say